Welcome back. Today we're talking about sampling the world around you. It's going to be a calm one, so sit back, relax, and enjoy.
What is sampling? Well, sampling, simply put, is a way to record or extract a small piece of music or sound digitally for reuse as part of a composition or song. So, where did sampling begin? Well, the concept of sampling can be traced back to the early 20th century when jazz musicians in New Orleans and other cities began borrowing little bits of melodies, hooks, licks, and progressions from their peers' compositions. This practice of repurposing musical elements became an integral part of the jazz genre, laying the foundation for a modern sampling. In the 1940s, a new genre called mesquite concrete, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, emerged, which heavily relied on the use of pre-recorded sounds and transformed them into new compositions, or as I like to call it, sound sampling. While this was a groundbreaking approach at the time, I believe the roots of sampling can be traced even further back to the early days of audio and film. As filmmakers started incorporating sounds and music to enhance storytelling, they often combined pre-existing audio elements with original recordings, effectively sampling sounds to create a more immersive experience. Also, because we couldn't get audio in the set and record the actors at the same time, we often would record the video and over top of the voices would use sounds, effectively sampling. Over the years, the techniques and technologies used in sampling has evolved, shaping various musical genres and forever changing the landscape of modern music production. For this part, we're switching things up. What I want you to do is find a space anywhere, outdoor, indoor, and I want you to sit down, cross your legs, close your eyes, and just listen to the world around you. Now, you can do this for as long as you want. What I want you to do is try and tune into the sounds around you. Doing this allows you to hear things you didn't normally hear, and also think about possible sound sources that you could use for sampling. For instance, right now, as you may or may not be able to hear, I have a fan on. I have an AC on. Maybe there's some other noises. Again, close your eyes and listen. So, how do you start recording sound? Well, simply put, we have to figure out a few things first. First things first is what sound we're going to record. Now, this is one of the most and least important steps of the whole entire process. And the reason I say that is because if you have a sound in mind, of course you need to know what you want, and thus you can record what you want. But a lot of times I like starting from a blank canvas without idea, because reality is we are going to be editing the sounds later on, so why does it matter what you start with, and more so what you end with? The second consideration is, what is your recording device going to be? People online say that you have to have this fancy microphone like a Shure SM7B or a boom microphone walking around for recording the sounds. But in my opinion, it's more important how you record the sounds and less so what you record it with, because as I stated, we will be editing them. So those little imperfections are totally fine, and in some cases can be better, because instead of getting this perfect sound, you get more of a vintage, older feel. So my suggestion is, if you have the money and if you're serious about recording, then of course get a fancy boom microphone. But if you want to record and add it to your music, all you really need is your phone. As long as your phone is close to the source of the sound, you'll be totally fine. I wanted to jump in here and say that the point of this video is recording the sound around you, but also I like accessibility in mind. And not everyone has a lot of money to spend on recording equipment. So that's why I mentioned use your phone. But of course, if you're interested in it, I will provide some recommendations coming up. But I will say I'm only going to be recommending mics. If you're wanting a full recording setup, you're going to need a mic, a recorder, a boom pole, typically, and maybe if you're trying to record a sound but there's wind, then you want a windshield. There's a whole list of items. And if it's something you want to do, I suggest you do some research, because I am someone who has recorded on sets before but is not huge on it, and thus I do it less. So I have some suggestions when it comes to the recording equipment. And it's not just as simple as here are the ones I think you should buy. The best way to think about it is in 3 levels. Level 1 is you barely record, and when you're doing sampling, you do very minimal and you don't care too much about the quality because you're going to edit it and other things. That's the tier that I'm in. And with that tier, my suggestion is your phone is good enough. But tier 2 is, let's say you're a little bit more of a frequent recorder than that. You do things kind of professionally, but not fully, and you like having more quality. My suggestion for that would be to buy a Zoom recorder. Long story short, it's just like your phone. It's handheld. All you need is a pair of headphones with it, and you can record anything. You just move yourself close to the sound source, press record, and you're all good. Those can go and vary in price from around about like $100 to more or less, depending on the brand. But I suggest Zoom because I think it's the most well trusted. Now, the third tier is if you're getting into like film or you're doing a lot of recording daily, I would suggest a more complex build. Now, what I mean by that is instead of just one device, your phone or a Zoom recorder, you go for the full thing, like I said in the previous part, and get a fancy mic. Now, the 2 ones that I've listed here are the Rode NGT5 on the left and the Sennheiser 8060. The Rode is around about $400, $500. Now, the Sennheiser is much more expensive, around $1,500. Now, if you think that's expensive, it is, yet not at the same time. Because nowadays, good quality mics are expensive. Now, with smaller amounts of money, you can get good mics that work well. But if you're going and doing professional work, having something that stands the test of time will do you good. So let's recap. In the beginning, I played some samples that I recorded with my phone, and I talked about kind of the history of sampling. And then after that, I gave you this listening experiment you can do. Crossing your legs, closing your eyes, and taking a listen to the world around you. After that, I talked about how you can get started. And I mentioned recording gear. So then I went into recommendations, and now we're at the end of the video. I'm going to say this now. I have worked on this video for a while, and I'm not a huge fan of it. It feels more like an audiobook than an actual video. I don't have my face at all in it, besides that one part. And I'm sorry if the quality is not as good as you would have liked. I'm still working on this thing, trying to learn. But The good thing is I put my time in and I did the editing, so hopefully I can nail down the editing better in the future. In any case, this is part 1. Part 2, we will go over putting the samples into your DAW of choice and editing them. At this point, it's time for your favorite part of the video, the challenge. So what I want you to do is to prep for next video. Now, when I say that, I air caution because this is something that took me a while to make. So I don't know that the next video will be part 2. But as an experiment, try and get at least 5 samples that you find kind of interesting. Record them, put them into Ableton, and fool around with them. And as always, you can put it in my Discord, but you can also just send it to me, tag me in a YouTube video, whatever, and I'll take a watch. The idea with this challenge is practice, because first time you might get some samples, but they might sound bad because your mic wasn't close, or any other number of reasons. In any case, I love you guys so much. The support has been amazing. This video has taken me way longer than I would have liked. Yes, there wasn't too much effort put into it, but I got the ADHD dyslexia thing, so I get bored pretty quickly from stuff, and I'm also like always doing so many things at once. I'm a project person. I have many interests. So I kind of tried my best for this project, this video, and I'm going to try and do some better stuff in the future. The last item before I leave, I am going to be going, I may be going on a little bit of a hiatus. And the reason for that is because I'm about to head back home and get my teeth pulled. And as far as hiatuses go, it's only because I don't know if I'll be able to talk. I'll still be able to type, I'll still be able to text, so if you're in the Discord, I'll be able to talk to you about stuff. But I don't know if I'll stream, I don't know if I'll have any videos, because what is there really to post without my voice? In any case, I'm going to say it again. The support has been amazing. Love you guys. Have a fantastic rest of your summer, rest of your day, rest of your life, whatever.